Verse 36, Ulladhu narpadhu anubandam, supplement to 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. கற்று மடங்காரில் கல்லாதாரே உயிர்ந்தார், பற்று மதப்பேயின்பால் உயிர்ந்தார், சுற்றுப்புல சிந்தை வாய் நோய் உயிர்ந்தார், சீர்தேடி ஓடல் உயிர்ந்தார், உயிர்ந்தது ஒன்று அன்று என்று உணர். In this verse, Sri Bhagavan is talking about how one extricates himself from the clutches of the ego. How it is a great job, he says. First, கற்றும் மடங்காரில் கல்லாதாரே உயிர்ந்தார். He says, the person who is uneducated, he has really redeemed himself when compared to the person who has educated himself too much on the subject. He says, already he said too much of study is not good. He said, for a man, his wife, his children, if that is a bondage, for a man who has educated himself on different disciplines on spirituality, he says, he is bound by many families, not just one family. So he says, Katrum Madangaril Kalladare Uindar, which means he has redeemed himself, who is not studied so much, a layman. Patru Madappeinbal Uindar, one who has liberated himself from the clutches of religion. That I am a Hindu, I am a Christian, I am a Muslim, I am a Zoroaster. See, this kind of attitude, dual attitude or dualistic attitude, is born out of belief. Because when a man is born, he is not born as a Hindu or Muslim or a Christian. Man is just born as a biological child, that's it. Then with the naming ceremony it starts. Sentivel, oh you are a Hindu. John, oh you are a Christian, and so on. Muhammad, you are a Muslim, and so on. So it is all belief. Bhagavan says, if ego is born, everything is born. That is the Advaitic truth. The ego subsides, everything is gone. There is no experience of the body, there is no experience of the world, there is no experience of the universe at all. This is the truth, Advaitic truth. Ahande undayin anaithum undagum says. So if you seek the source of I thought, everything will subside. Then where is the question of religion? Where is the question of study and becoming a Pandit? There is no room for it. Sutrupala Sindai Vai Noi Uindar, one who has escaped from the loop of thinking the same thought and talking about the same stuff. He says, then Sirdedi Odal Uindar, one who has redeemed himself from the need for recognition, from the need for approval, from the need for applause. One who has redeemed himself or extricated himself from all these, உயிர்ந்தது ஒன்று அன்று என்று உணர். He says, do you think it's an ordinary thing? He says, it's a great achievement. It's a big thing, Bhagavan says. So normally psychology, human psychology longs for recognition. You or I as a human being, as an individual, we always long for inclusion. We long for recognition. We long for applause. We long for inclusion, appreciation. This is quite natural. That's how psychology functions. Because it is all the function of the self-esteem. If we don't have neutral self-esteem, if it is neutral, it just accepts the things the way they are. But a sense of inadequacy always operates within us. Even in the psychological domain, the reason may be spiritual, because your spiritual being is perfect being, bliss, totality, total satisfaction. But once identified with the body, dissatisfaction starts. And this dissatisfaction pushes into worldly pursuits in order to make us become more perfect, which is an impossibility. I mean, this is the trick. Okay. So, our original nature is bliss and perfection, but we are made to seek bliss and perfection through worldly pursuits, money, success, sex, drugs, etc. That is how all human beings, function. That is how they become successful too in the material plane. But that is a trick. This is what Jnanis like Bhagavan, they have understood. Just it's a waste of time. Straight away seek the source of your perfection that is within inside and be done with it. Be liberated from this drama, this endless drama loop of birth, rebirth, and death. He says, escape. He says there is no other meaning to life, he says. That is the very purpose of having taken birth, he says. Because this identification with the body is the first culprit. Okay, I am this body, the sense is born, right? From where? From Atma, from Brahman, from that vast, infinite, formless Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. There arises, from this, there arises this ego. Like this it arises. And we get bound with it. We get stuck with it for lifetimes. Not just one lifetime. Ennil Piravi Eduthu, he says. If we don't work consciously towards liberation, or if you are too enamored with this physical world, you are too happy with it, fine, that is your choice. You can take another 100 births. Those people who have taken a number of births, they have seen life. Those who have seen both the sides of the coin, suffering and happiness. And Bhagavan says the end result is always misery. He says whichever womb you are born into, the net result is misery, he says. That is how Advaita Vedanta looks at life. Not pessimistic. They have seen life. Jnanis have seen a number of births too. And at the end, after so much of experience, they have come to the conclusion that is the purpose of having taken human birth. What? Liberate yourself. Don't be stuck with it anymore. Of course, from my study and practice, I do understand it takes time, because the opposites are already programmed inside us. The vasanas, the desires for worldly affairs, worldly things is deeply ingrained in us. So there is a fight. Bhagavan always says meditation means fight. Fight between what? Your desire to liberate yourself, be still, and the vasanas. The vasanas are wayward, disobedient. Thoughts are just constantly thrown into your awareness about success, about a family, about a career, about a car, bungalow, success, enjoyment, etc., etc. It keeps churning out, the mind keeps churning out thoughts endlessly, one after another, so that you remain occupied with the mind. That is nature's trick to make you remain trapped in the body-mind system. But if you understand this, we can come out of it. It takes some amount of thinking, reasoning, and maturity and honesty. Yes, do you want to liberate myself? Can this be the last birth? Yes, some people will say, no, I want to be born again. I want to become an actor. I want to become an actress. I want to become a successful businessman. Oh, all yours. There is nobody here to deny anything to you. As you choose, so you would become. As you are, so is your world. Bhagavan says, if you are identified with the body, the rest of the world and all other human beings, they are all physical. If you are formless, everything is formless, he says. So in this verse, he says, only the uneducated people are better because they can redeem themselves easily, because they have a simple faith system operating in them. If a guru says something, they'll say, yes sir, they'll practice it and they'll come out of it. This is how Nisargadatta Maharaj did it in Bombay. He lived in a slum. He was a beedi seller. So he listened to his guru's words, he did the sadhana, and he liberated himself. He became a Brahmagyani. He became Brahman itself. So there is nothing wrong in studying, but too much of study makes you confused. You are unable to reason out, collate, reason out, and then cull out the truth, and you are unable to remain with it. That kind of a condition will come. That is why faith in one guru is better. It is a gift, I would say. And if you are satisfied from all angles, if you analyze the subject, and if you are satisfied that yes, this is the truth, that is how I am convinced with Ramana Maharshi's teaching. Although I seem to have studied Shankara, maybe in previous births, because discrimination is the method I normally use even in the psychological workshops. So, but of course, Bhagavan would say there is no difference between Shankara and himself. Yeah, it's Shankara who is saying Tamil through me. That's what Bhagavan says. So, sticking to one Guru, and if you are convinced that he is the highest truth, then there is no confusion. So, he says, compared to people who are highly educated, overly educated, simple, uneducated people are better because they can redeem themselves. And those people who are stuck with religious fundamentalism, religious belief, those people who have come out of it, that's great, he says. And this loop, the mind loop, same thoughts again and again about the same subjects again and again, and talking about the same stuff, if you have redeemed yourself from it, he says, that's great. And then Sirdedi Odal, which means I want recognition, I want to be a guru, I want to be great, I am an educated person, highly educated person, I am an accomplished person, I am a great successful a businessman, and so on. I am the wealthiest man. Let it be. It is all there because ego is there, Bhagavan says. If you do vicharam, self-enquiry, and find out your true nature, there is nobody, first of all, to seek recognition. There is nobody to be attached to religion. There is nobody, to seek perfection in the outside world. There is nobody to seek bliss in the outside world. Only if ego is there, all this is there. If ego is just gone, if it subsides, everything is gone. What is left? Sat Chit Anandam. That's our true nature. Formless, infinite self, which pervades everything in all directions. It pervades the entire universe and yet remains untouched, and it remains still like a stone. He says, Sadayanirkum Karpol. Let us think about it.